So we're going to talk a little bit about just what Willow Bird Baking Challenge is and then introduce the first challenge recipe. So first off, Willow Bird Baking Challenge is going to be a new challenge each week. And it's not so much your baking challenge where you just get a normal recipe and you bake it. Instead, it's a challenge that encourages you to innovate in the kitchen. And so you'll be given a recipe base, but you'll have to make some interesting, creative choices to make it your own.
Okay.
Because Willow Bird Baking is all about inspiring kitchen confidence. And Kelly's the perfect person to introduce to you at the beginning because she's been building kitchen confidence through her baking exploits for years, and she's really inspired me in the kitchen. So I'm going to let Kelly introduce herself. Kelly, tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from and your proudest kitchen moment.
Okay, I am from Jamaica. Let's see, what else to say about myself? I studied psychology, that kind of stuff, but that's the boring stuff. In terms of kitchen, I have loved baking just forever. As a little girl, I'd be in the kitchen, like for Christmas, baking with my mother. And I didn't like the fruit cakes that they'd make for Christmas in Jamaica, but I still had to bake them because, well, it's not Christmas without the fruit cakes. And after I'd bake the fruit cakes, I'd make my own little plain cake that I'd love to, like, okay, that's the one I'll eat. And then when my mother decided, okay, nobody is eating this fruit cake, I don't want to bake this anymore, I was like, no, we have to do this. We can't do this. And so I took over just baking all the cakes and then just building and building from there. Proudest moment so far, puff pastry. I am still surprised I did puff pastry, and I wouldn't have done it without you.
Oh,
Laminated dough, and I'm like, oh no, nope, there's no way I'm even gonna be able to roll that out. It's not happening, but I did it, and I'm still surprised it happened. So yes.
oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. That was actually, I think croissants, I'll go backwards. Croissants was my proudest baking moment ever because it just you feel like such a rock star.
Yeah.
And of course, I already said I'm Julie, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm going to be doing the challenge too because it's always a challenge for me to innovate, and I feel like we should do it together.
Cool.
Yeah, and some people are going to join us who aren't here in the Hangout, but we just thought we'd kick it off. And so, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the challenge recipe. Are you ready for this, Kelly?
Yes!
Woo! Here we go. Okay, challenge number 1 is going to be to innovate cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
So, you're going to have, it's yeast, and everybody's afraid of yeast, but if you're out there and you're afraid of yeast, first off, Kelly is a yeast pro. But
yes,
secondly,
I have my little wild yeast growing in my kitchen.
yeah, you're totally, like, she's on the sourdough train and everything else.
Yep.
But if you are afraid of yeast, and Kelly can tell you this, you need to get your feet wet and just jump in and give it a shot because you'll find it's actually very forgiving. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You mess up, you toss it out, you foam some more yeast. So, and this is actually one of the easiest yeast doughs I've ever worked with, and so give it a shot. I'm going to give you the recipe, and if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be right down there. It's going to be a link to the recipe, and you need to use the overnight yeast dough. That's pretty much the only requirement, because other than that, you're going to roll out your cinnamon rolls, and you are going to create your own version. So, for instance, I'm going to do a little screen share here and show you 2 versions that I've created. This first one is, these are almond coconut.
Oh, wow.
Cinnamon rolls, and these are like my favorite things in the world. They're so buttery and good. And of course, they don't really include any cinnamon. So it's totally a new version. And then this, hopefully this really gets you thinking about the different possibilities. These are actually savory cinnamon rolls. And so this is sweet potato chorizo, a little queso fresco cinnamon rolls. And so these could be used like dinner rolls. And the key to the filling is always just don't skimp on the butter.
Don't skimp on butter. Got it.
Don't skimp on the butter. And so I really want to encourage you guys to imagine the possibilities. So feel free to create savory cinnamon rolls, create new sweet cinnamon rolls, really let your mind wander. And I'll tell you my idea in a second, but Kelly, has this sparked any ideas for you?
Oh, for I'm immediately thinking chocolate, but we'll see what happens when I actually
Ooh.
go into the kitchen.
Yeah, chocolate sounds fantastic.
We'll see what happens. I think I'll be thinking about that all night. Like, what other than chocolate? Sometimes I need to get out of my chocolate comfort zone.
What I was thinking is my friend Chris told me about these maple bacon cinnamon rolls where literally there's
Oh my
bacon
goodness.
flipping rolled up in the cinnamon roll. And so
Oh,
I know that I'm going to try that one. And so I'm really excited about it.
anything with bacon is always good.
I know, right? And so, what I'm going to do, and if you're participating at home, just keep this in mind in a week. So, it's due on Friday, next Friday. I'm going to make a huge post on Willow Bird Baking with all of your beautiful cinnamon roll variations and all of your ideas. Feel free to post on your own blogs about it if you have your own blogs. And I can't wait to see what you make. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like really excited. I'll actually use commercial yeast this time.
Oh, there you go, instead of the
That's
sourdough.
Mario. Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. And I just want to say again that you've always been an inspiration to me. And thank you so much
Oh,
for now coming on to inspire other readers.
I'm so happy to do this.
Thank you. Have a great night. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
bye, bye.